Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is going to be another episode of SNTR Gaming News covering an update from 343 about Big Team Battle, their goals, a roadmap, all kind of things from an update blog post that they put out there. If you like these sorts of streams and gaming news topics, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so that way you are here when we stream. We try to put this right on the front end and give you the really quick update and summary, so that way when you click on the video, the goods are right here, and then we discuss it for about 3 hours. This is an SNTR update. 343 has updated the community about Big Team Battle and more, what they're wanting to do this year and some of the struggles they've been going through, and I'm going to read through portions of that for you because it is pretty significant and I broke it into sections for you. If you like these SNTR updates, hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my uploads, or check out SNTR Gaming where I stream these updates live and discuss them with a live audience. So they did say initially, the thing that I found the most encouraging is that there is a roadmap incoming. They had this to say from the blog post. The 343 team is largely back in action this week, and I know many of you are very eager to get some updates on a number of topics. We are working on a broader info update and driving toward being able to share more details and a roadmap to help answer your questions and manage expectations. I've been pretty big on this with respect to New World, and similarly, I think Halo Infinite would be very good to give players a roadmap about what's happening going forward, just so they can set their expectations. Now, they are still under the shadow of poor management, according to this blog, at least in my opinion. This is what they had to say. The exercise is going to take some time to flesh out, but please know it's in process. There's just a lot to dig into, and it's a rather complicated web of work items, dependencies, priorities, etc. So we want to be sure to share informed, accurate information. The fact that the game has been out for as long as it has, and it's complicated, and there's lots of items and priorities and things that are making it difficult for them to just put out updates and roadmaps, I still believe they are under the shadow of poor management. I believe this game was poorly managed, and that's why it is so fragmented and kind of broken in certain aspects. I don't think the game itself is broken. I think there are elements of it that are very poorly put together, and I attribute most of that to poor management that they have had, prior to 2019 or so. And the game getting back on course is good, but it still, as I said, feels as if they're under that shadow. The Big Team Battle fix is on the way. They said this: a strike force continued to work on this over the break, and we are optimistic to say we believe we have a fix in hand for the core issue. This went into QA last week, and so far it's looking positive. We are not seeing this issue occur internally using this build. So they apparently have a fix for the Big Team Battle problem. Now, the ETA on the fix is still unknown. They said it's a little too soon to give an ETA yet, but please know our goal is to release this as soon as we can while ensuring it does not have any other unintended impact on the retail product. It won't be this week, but we hope that it's not much further out, and we'll share an update as soon as we can. So it's not going to be this week. It's going to be a little bit further out, maybe a week or two. Then they touched on cheating and a February update. They said, we know there are a number of other topics that you are eager to hear about, including some issues with instances of cheating. The team has been working on a patch for mid-February that looks to address this and other things, and we'll have more details to come as we get closer to release. We are actively triaging and still working to get as much info as we can for the February update, while still ensuring no negative impacts or regressions to other parts of the game. So they have something planned for mid-February that's going to address cheating and other issues. Hopefully this mid-February update really helps the game. February is a pretty jam-packed full month as it is, with Lost Ark launching, a big release from New World, and other big retail titles. Lastly, they confirmed that they now consider themselves a live service studio. They said, while we were blown away and humbled by the reception and launch of Halo Infinite, we've got a lot to get after now as a live service studio. So that means they got a long way to go, but they're willing to do it, and they're looking at themselves and this game as a live service. So 343 came back from their break to say that they had things that they were working on. A roadmap is on the way, but just putting together that roadmap and that plan to the public and get that information out there, they're indicating that it's pretty complicated and complex. I attribute this to them being under the shadow of poor management and mismanagement prior to the game's launch. I think they're in a better state now, but they're still sort of living under that shadow. They did indicate that privately and even over the holiday break, they were working on a fix for Big Team Battle that seems to be working, and they're not seeing the issue continue in their internal testing. They went on to say that there will be a big update for February to address some of the cheating and other issues in the game. Calling themselves a live service studio was kind of how they ended the blog post, which is good news for some and bad news for others. What do you think about the state of the game right now, and how soon should we expect this big team battle update to hit? Let us know in the comments below. As always, if you like these SNTR updates, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss these updates. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now to discuss this. This is obviously good news for people that have been extremely frustrated by the big team battle woes and frustrations. Surprising that, they weren't able to fix this quickly. It is odd when a game that's been around this long has matchmaking issues for one of its more foundational game funnels. Thankfully, it did not affect our Halo Infinite custom games on Friday nights when we did them. The Halo Infinite gameplay loop, I think, is very, very solid and strong, but it obviously requires, matchmaking and other things to work properly. So welcome in. New stream, guys, new topic, so make sure you switch to live chat and then hit that like button to get this video some momentum and get it moving. We had about 300 viewers, and it looks like maybe the redirect might have staggered a little bit. We didn't bring over as many people as we usually do. Horizon Forbidden West is a tad bit of a different title, though, compared to Halo. We are leaving the PlayStation realm and coming over to the Xbox realm with this topic. Did you see this week's ultimate reward in Halo? It's the same armor emblem that they've offered 2 times before. Well, not surprising. They don't have enough content, for the season. The season's being stretched pretty significantly. I think that's one of the main reasons that things have been structured so poorly. I really do. I think they've got a season that was supposed to last maybe 3.5 to 4 months, and it's being stretched to 6. Redirect didn't work for me. Yeah, it didn't seem like it worked as well. I don't know if that's affected when we come over early, like the stream was scheduled for 12:15. I think sometimes when we come over and we're coming over early, I think that affects it. I might have to start changing the schedule of the next stream so that redirect goes smoother. It does feel like when we come over early, it jacks with it. Redirect was scuffed. Okay, I thought so. Anyway, you guys can help out with that. Get us our first 100 likes. Let us know what you think about this situation in the chat. They need to fix Halo 100. We got big team battle. We got cheating. Let's see here. Halo Infinite, what would you address first? If you were in charge, what would you address first? Big team battle, cheating, Forge, co-op. Which of these things do you think you would address first? They're all very different, so I'm making it hard for you to pick. It worked for me and you're on mobile. Okay, redirect worked for you. I got the noti on Discord. Okay. Redirect worked fine on your PC, but it didn't work on mobile. Yeah, it sounds like it was a bit of a mixed bag today. Blue Bandit says, I don't think 343 has enough manpower to run as a live studio. There are signs of its events being time-gated and also the stretching of the pass out another 3 months. It shows that they are buying time. Now, there could be multiple reasons for that. I don't necessarily know if we want to jump to the conclusion that, that automatically means they don't have enough people to be live service. It could simply be that the game launched before it was truly ready, and since it launched before it was truly ready, it is, it's they got to stretch this first season well beyond what is natural. Hey, somebody else ordered some coffee, a light roast going to Not Famous. Thank you guys so much. Good to see the light roast selling again, especially, I'm drinking it again. I'm back to it being my favorite. So thank you so much. Good to see those light roast sales. Make sure and use the coffee command if you want to order some of our delicious coffee. We got it right there on display for you. Freddie Jackson with 10 months of subs. Gaming Tier 3. So kind and generous. Thank you for that. Golly, 10 months. It's been a wild ride. If you guys want to support the channel directly, you can hit that $ in chat, and you can do a tip or a paid membership. It's free and easy to subscribe and smash like, so get us our first 100 likes. We only need about 12 more. Barrier says co-op 100%. Most people seem to be right now preliminarily voting for cheating is what they would address first. Eugene says it's an arena shooter. The live service aspect should be easy. Warsmith says, I'd worry about what is causing problems currently, Big Team Battle, rather than working on additional features, even if the community wants it in. I tend to agree with that. I would not triage co-op or Forge right now. I would triage, I would definitely focus on stuff that's like not working properly, like Big Team Battle. I agree. I actually agree with you on that. Wheezy with 5 months. Honestly, I didn't know I could do this. Yeah, you can hit the $ and renew your memberships and celebrate those renewals. Sorry for repeating my question, says Jordan. Can someone let me know what the issue is with Big Team Battle? Yes, I'll let you know. So matchmaking is kind of jacked up. Games are either crashing before you get into them or crashing during them. It's been a raucous time for Big Team Battle. Very inconsistent. So it's just not working consistently. You either can't get in the game, or if you get in the game itself crashes. Blue Bandit says it has to be Big Team Battle being it worked at launch. It would send a massive bad sign to work on other issues. Yeah, it doesn't. It's weird that it was working and then it stopped working. I'm not quite sure what the issue was. Barrier says, I'm biased, I don't play PvP. Well, I mean, that's understandable. If you're not a fan of PvP, you wouldn't prioritize them, fixing PvP-oriented things first. I think that makes perfectly good sense. I think that they should work on Big Team Battle first. If you have actual existing features and functions that aren't working right, like that should be top priority, right? They turned the Big Team Battle switch to FF from on. It's a simple mistake, really. What do you mean? I don't understand what you're saying, Wheezy. They turned the Big Team Battle switch to FF from on. Distorted with 5 months of membership at a gaming tier 1 says, get those renewals in chat. Firm handshakes to all in the chat. Also, double dip gang. That's my man. Thank you. $5 tip from Akuta Papa. I picked cheating because I watched a pro player who used to play Call of Duty as a pro cheating, obvious wall hacks, and an aimbot. Oh, you're joking. Okay. So Steven says that the green coffee, the Frickmas blend, the holiday coffee is the best, followed by light roast, then dark roast. He says, am I right? There you go. Dark Taco says it takes 5 attempts and 2 game crashes and you maybe get into a big team. Man. Guys, we're new at this. Give us a break. Dustin says, I got into a Big Team Battle game not long ago with 0 UI, no crosshair or anything. It was an experience. That happened to us. That's funny, because the first time we did a custom game night, a Halo Infinite custom game night, we had the same thing happen to us, but it's because I felt like it was because we were spectators. Me and Hilly were spectating, and it threw us in the game, and instead of letting us spectate, we were suddenly on a team, and we had no UI and no crosshair. I couldn't pause the game. I couldn't leave the game. I couldn't do anything. I had to force quit out of the game. I was basically held hostage by the game. So I don't know. It's interesting that happened to us in a custom game when we were trying to be spectators. I wonder if I don't know if that would help. I don't know if that would help them solve it, because that's certainly when we ran into it, which is just such an odd time for that to happen, to be like, I'm not even trying to play, I'm trying to spectate. Feels like this Halo is held together with duct tape. What I would like to see is add an update that would be the ability to mix and match core animations. For example, using the up-and-coming Halo in the cyber events with the flame shoulders. I read somewhere, and I didn't go into the details of it, I saw the headline or the Reddit post where apparently people had somehow busted the game apart, hacked the game or something, and they had figured out that you can have multiple layers of customization for the cores. Like, they don't have to have it set up the way that it's presently set up. I swear to you, I saw that somewhere. They were like, oh yeah, you could totally customize your armor, your cores in Halo. They don't have to do it this way. There's a unique challenge with an open world Halo. Shut up, Eugene. The fact that they built an open world Halo is a perfectly good reason why it wasn't easy to let you reload missions or instance in for co-op. I mean, they made that the priority. Just like when they made priority for Halo 5 to look prettier, it meant that like a local co-op, local split screen co-op wasn't going to be possible. I mean, I know you're being cheeky, but come on, let's not be totally unfair here. It seems this bug has been around for a while. It happened 2 weeks ago. To have been that long, they need to focus on it. Well, to their credit, OG Boxer, to their credit, they worked on it over the holidays, they said. They said their team, I'll read you what they said. So my lips keep getting chapped, so I'm using some of my salted caramel Burt's Bees. Says here, a strike force continued to work on this over the break, and we're optimistic to say we believe we have a fix on the core issue. So I want to give them some credit there. The fact that they had a team working on the big team battle fix, you know, that Halo Infinite big team battle is honestly, I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the more popular funnels for people to go into. And they had a strike force working on it over the break. So I mean, I want to give them some credit for that. They didn't have to do that. Most of the people, you know, went home and took a break. And I think that's important. I think, you know, lots of companies are starting to take that posture, you know, letting people have like an actual holiday break. I remember that Reddit post and it ticked people off, right? Is this Halo a new engine? Yes. Yeah, the Slipstream engine is new. Well, it's a rebuild. Like it's a severely updated and changed and rebuilt engine from previous technology. But it is, for all intents and purposes, it is a new engine, because the guy whenever there was a former employee that started the rumors about crunch or whatever, and he indicated that when they showed the first gameplay at 2020 that the engine still wasn't done yet. They weren't done. It wasn't ready. Barrier says modders were able to get cross customization on cores working with, quote, minimal effort. Okay, that's what I saw. Thank you. The bots in the bot matches can spawn with armor that is cross-core and stuff, and yet we can't do the same, so it's clearly in the game. Or something that they know is coming and they just haven't let us do it yet. I don't know. The Slipspace engine is new for Infinite. Jeremy says, desync and hit registry address this first. Maybe for some computer setups it doesn't happen, but hit reg happens every other game for me. Yeah, hit registration is an issue. It is. Lots of people have brought it up. I had issues with that the one day I was playing. I was like, I know I'm not an amazing player, but I was like, I swear I'm shooting freaking through people. Like, what's happening here? Does Infinite have anti-cheat? On console, no. And on PC, no. Isn't 343 the company that said they didn't want to do intrusive anti-cheat? They wanted to protect their players, and so they weren't going to do like a kernel level anti-cheat. They felt they could do anti-cheat with engine level updates, and that they wouldn't need the player to like install invasive software. I'm fairly certain that was 343 that said that. I don't want to misspeak, but my recollection is that their approach to this has been that they don't want to do what they described as invasive anti-cheat. So what are they doing? Well, this is what they had to say about that. They said that the team has been working on a patch for mid-February that looks to address cheating and other things. We'll have more details to come as we get closer to release. We are actively triaging and still working to get this, to get as much as we can into February update, while still ensuring no negative impacts on or regressions to other parts of the game. So they believe that they can do things at an engine level to slow or stall out or stop cheating, at least for a time. And that's going to be their approach. Yes, 343 said that. Yeah. So they're going to do it at an engine level. They're not going to do like a kernel level ring 0 anti-cheat where, you know, you have to have that installed. And it's possible that's possible they're doing this because, you know, 75% of their user base is probably playing the game on console, you know. I think that's probably why they're not focusing heavily on a kernel level anti-cheat. If you look at the player base numbers on Steam, it's not that it's not overwhelming. And then you know that there's only a percentage of those people that are installing and running the cheats anyway. So, you know, the hope would be that you would just slowly dissuade them with updates and then they'd move on to another game. Now, the dilemma that they're facing is that Halo Infinite is a free game. And we know how that goes when a free game, you know. Halo Infinite multiplayer is 100% free. So no matter how many times you get banned, you can come back with a brand new account, jump in, and start cheating again. And there's no real sense of loss or investment because there's not much that your player has other than like unlocks on a battle pass. There aren't a whole lot of things that you know, that you're gonna lose, you know, unless you go into ranked and like level and get some of the unlocks in there. I don't think you're feeling a great sense of loss, especially if you're one of these like habitual cheaters or rage cheaters. They're just in there trying to cause chaos and trying to cause trouble. They don't care about that. Expiry says, hit registration is fine 99% of the time, but that 1% is a rocket that doesn't blow up when you have the whole enemy team in the crosshair. Right. And that's more memorable. Like, you don't remember that all the times that your car started and got you to work. You remember the one time that it broke down on the side of the road and you were stranded for 3 hours. Because it's infuriating and it's super disruptive to your expectations and your day-to-day life. So hit registration can be fine, you know, 90% of the time. But that 10% that crops up once or twice a game where you're like, what the frick, I shot through that guy, you're going to remember that because it stands out more. It's more irritating. Cheating is a lot less prevalent than people believe it is, says Rampant Pikachu. It's mainly in the higher tiers of Onyx. Most of y'all just suck at the game and blame hacks. I do think there's multiple elements at play here when it comes to cheating. I do think that there are players that are bad that immediately run to hacks, but I also think that knowing there are hacks out there, it makes really good shots and really good plays pretty suspicious. But I do think there have been some pretty clear, you know, evidences found of cheating. Like, Halo Infinite cheating is happening. There's videos, there's people getting caught. You know, somebody in chat saying, who was it? You know, Akuta Papa saying they saw somebody that used to play Call of Duty as a pro cheating in Halo. I don't recall ever seeing a cheater yet. Cheating is a bigger issue than some might actually want to believe. Are they repairing Big Team Battle? Currently, their announcement about the Halo Infinite Big Team Battle hotfix is that it's not coming this week, but they're hoping to get it out as soon as possible. So I'm going to tell you tentatively, I'm going to give you a maybe for next week, but after that, it's probably going to be in. So if you don't get an update to Big Team Battle next week, end of January, they'll have an update. From what they said, they've got a private test that's going well, and they've fixed the problem. So now they're just making sure that it doesn't cause more problems when they push out the hotfix. I agree. I got a message from someone claiming I was cheating. His or her excuse was that they rarely miss shots. I was like, okay, thanks for the compliment. Kemal, how are you saying how bad? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Are you saying how bad, or you're going to have to use English? I'm sorry. If you're attempting to speak, it seems like you might be attempting to speak in Spanish. I understand and speak extremely little. I mean, this guy in Halo Infinite Reddit Googled and made a cheating script in literally 3 hours. It isn't that hard, says Wheezy. Just Barker says, cheaters have been caught. It's kind of dumb to say I'm good at the game, so I don't believe there's as much cheating as you say, is a dumb argument. February's another big patch. Yeah, let's make sure we're clear on this. There will be a hotfix to fix Big Team Battle. There will also then be a big patch in mid-February that's going to address cheating and other things. So they separated the two. There's a hotfix coming in the next week or two that will address Big Team Battle. And then there is also a really big patch in February. So like there'll be a Halo Infinite update in like mid-Feb where you'll get like a patch that'll fix some of the cheating they're saying and some of the other issues with the game. And it's just too cold. I gotta put the hoodie on. My body can't get warm right now. Usually if I sit here for a little while, like under the lights and in the room with the door closed and the computers and the monitors on, it starts to heat up. But not today. How will 343 fight the cheaters? So 343 has said that they don't want to use invasive means of anti-cheat. They want to make changes at an engine level. They believe with the slip space engine that they can make changes on their end that would then slow down or stop cheating. Not permanently stop it, but you know what I'm saying. How do you recognize when someone is cheating? I get killed too fast to even know. Sometimes I've been killed with one punch with full health bar, and I wonder. I think sometimes you don't have a full health bar. I think there's latency with registration and you get shot or hit by a grenade or something in close succession and it doesn't register fast enough and it seems like you get punched extremely fast. Like you're like, oh, I'm dead. If you're cold, just think warm Momoa thoughts. Yeah. The thing is, they can catch all cheating. Modded controllers is the one they can't, being they manipulate controller inputs and don't change game code. Unless they detect anomalous behavior out of the player with respect to, like, I don't even know, like accuracy maybe? It's time. Downloading Monster Hunter Rise right now. There you go, Wheeze. Off you go. Sony to produce more PS4s in response to people not being able to get a PS5? What? Is that The Onion? Game indicators regarding health aren't that great either. Yeah, sometimes I've felt that way. I've played Halo a few times and I'm like, why did I die so fast? And I go back and look and it's like, oh, I got hit twice, like a dink dink, and then I'm very, very weak and don't realize it. If 343 can identify the exploitable sections of the engine, they can close those exploits and make the hack stop working. Theoretically possible. If in fact it's agile enough. Here's my concern. How long do we have to wait? So the game launches, cheating becomes prevalent and known, and then there's a Halo Infinite update in like February. Okay, well, cheating will start happening again, new cheats will get pushed out, wall hacks, aimbots, whatever. Like Halo Infinite cheating will come back. How long do I have to wait for you to do the update again? Do I have to wait 2 or 3 months again? Right? And what does that look like in comparison? What does that look like in comparison to like how often some of these other anti-cheats get updated? Expiry says, what I've seen is straight up aimbots around Onyx, mainly through Lucid Stream. PUBG Battlegrounds just went free to play today. Oh, did it? Oh, speaking of cheating. Cheating occurs more in games that are unfinished, underdeveloped, and when there is not enough to do. I disagree at so many levels of what you've just claimed. No, cheating occurs most often in very popular free-to-play games. I don't think they're unfinished or underdeveloped. Fortnite Battle Royale, Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends, all those games have like their own version of cheating at multiple levels. I don't think it's a result of underdeveloped or unfinished games. I think it's low barrier of entry, they're free to play, and there is an economy of cheating. There is. There's an economy of cheating. So there are companies and persons out there that make money distributing and maintaining cheats, and that's why this is happening. There's an industry for it. That's why. If human beings can make money, they will find a way. Like I quote Ian Malcolm all the time. Life will find a way. It'll happen. It's unavoidable. And so I don't think it's because they're underdeveloped or unfinished. You know, even games like Valorant was super polished when it came out. They had a kernel level anti-cheat, and there were cheats in that game within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, people figured out how to get cheats in Valorant. A very, very well-developed game as far as I'm concerned, and a very, very aggressive level of anti-cheat, and people still got cheats in. This is a bigger issue because of free-to-play. If Halo Infinite is a $70 game, the cheating would be barely noticeable in the first year till the price of the game drops to $10 to $20. I don't think it would be barely noticeable, but it would be easier once you catch and ban people. It's the repeat offenders that become the more egregious, aspects of cheating. Smokeback says, for multiplayer, cheating doesn't even make sense. It just means that you can never be good. You know what's funny, Smokeback? There was a guy who made a video. His name's Astacross, and he made a video combing over the forums of a bunch of cheaters. They had been using a cheat, and the cheat got shut down. And it was both hilarious, but also kind of sad. There were people that were actually viewing cheating as a legitimate thing. Like, the one guy said something to the effect of, like, I actually felt like I was getting better at the game. The one guy was like, we'll get through this. We'll make it through, guys. Hang tight, hold tight. They were like having like camaraderie, and they were like commiserating and encouraging each other. It was otherworldly. It seemed like something from another universe, right? And you don't resonate with it because you're like, why on earth would you want to do that? I'd rather be mediocre or bad at a video game than spend money to cheat, right? It's a completely different, and in many respects to many of us, it is a foreign mentality. It's just foreign to us. It's like, why on earth would anybody want to do that? It seems completely counterproductive to be like, yeah, I'm going to spend money, time, and energy getting quote unquote good or better at a video game by cheating. It doesn't even make any sense. It seems literally backwards and antithetical. So I don't know. I remember when he was reading through it, I was like, what am I even reading? It seemed just utterly bizarre. You could use a rapid fire from a modded controller to reverse the fire rate that helps control recoil, slow down the commando fire rate while not physically having to do it or think about doing it. Could they not, though, run a report and see that you're doing something that it's not natural in the game? Can't they see that, like, hey, this player's gun is behaving in this strange way? Like, dedicated servers give you a lot of advantages. Like, you can literally scan what players are doing while they're doing it. Senin Gamer says, I've encountered enough wall hackers and aimbotters at D3, D5, and open and solo duo for controller. The less you have to think about what you do with a weapon, it puts more of your focus on other things in the game. Yeah. No. Thanks, Mama. Oh. I'm sad about the cheating in Titanfall 2. Yeah, Titanfall 2 got like saved by the community with like private servers, but apparently you're probably still gonna run into cheaters. I don't think you can stop cheaters completely. I'd rather see Forge come out and let the hackers mess around in Forge and hack Forge to make illegal vehicles and whatnot. Yeah, but I don't think that's not necessarily going to be an offshoot. Halo's dedicated servers. It's not peer-to-peer. I don't think Forge is going to be like suddenly going to like siphon off the cheaters into their own playground. I don't think so. That sounds a little I don't know. That sounds like wishful thinking to me, that like, oh, well, Forge will get here, and then all the cheaters will go over into Forge, and, I don't know about that. Good info. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. See if we can get some comments on that Take-Two one. I just don't think you can stop cheaters. Well, we need to be clear about something. It's not about stopping cheaters. No, it's about minimizing and slowing them down. If you can minimize them and slow them down, that's the key. I don't think any company is going to be out here selling you the notion that they're going to completely stop cheaters. I just don't think so. Since we're speaking Halo, I have 3 to 4 new customs already for Friday. Okay. Interest seems to be waning, so I'm not sure. The state of Friday nights might start to change a little bit. We will have forthcoming information about that. But this week, if you're a Halo fan and Friday nights are a good time for you, make sure you're a member here and make sure you're here on Friday night around 8 o'clock Eastern. We do custom games. Me and Hilly shoutcast you guys. It's a freaking riot. We're having drinks and laughs. So make sure you're here. We'd like to maybe see that Friday night become like a nice staple, but we'll see. You have a Senator Palpatine mode for you? Oh, great. Bleep says, it makes me wonder why a developer hasn't created a subsidiary that sells its own version of the cheat and then eventually move the cheaters into their own environment, like their own playlist. Yeah, I don't know about that. Moving them into their own playlist and things of that nature, like once you detect them, there are games and companies that do that, right? So they could push out a Halo Infinite update that basically once a cheater is detected, they slap you into your own playlist. Now the problem is they end up catching on pretty quickly what's going on, because they're like, oh, my matchmaking's taking forever and all my games are laggy. Well, I wonder why. Well, they've shoved you into a cheat only playlist, and when that happens, you end up very quickly realizing that, like, wait a minute, I guess the jig is up. I've been caught, right? I've been had, and they're forcing me into an environment where I'm only going to play against cheaters, right? Like, unfortunately, there's not enough cheaters for that to work well, because what ends up happening is you end up with a very small portion of players. Like, this is what happens with skill-based matchmaking, right? Skill-based matchmaking, you end up with a very small group of people that are constantly having to play against each other. So they start to recognize their names, they start to recognize like who they are, you start to recognize all of it. And so then they realize, like, oh man, I've been couched in the top 10%. This is super unfortunate. So, I don't want to play. Well, cheaters are going to catch on to that just as quickly as they're going to catch on to that just as quickly as like a high-skilled player catches on. The high-skilled player knows when they've been sequestered and funneled into the top 10%, and a cheater would catch on just as fast, because they would be like, well, I'm seeing the same names, matchmaking's taking forever, connections aren't that great. So, like, taking Halo Infinite cheaters and funneling them all together sounds like a great idea, but they're going to catch on pretty quickly. Instead of banning them, they should put them in lobbies with bots and other cheaters and wait for them to figure that out, frustrate them, repeat. Now, that's something I didn't consider, Orphan, is they could make sure that the connections and the matchmaking is fast by slamming bots in, but that also they might catch on. They'll be like, we're only playing against bots. They must have discovered us. They must have found us or whatever. That's what Fortnite does. When you play on PC and invite your mobile phone into the lobby, you get put into a cheater lobby. Really? Why does inviting your mobile phone to the lobby get you thrown into a cheater lobby? That sounds kind of odd. Ban all cheaters forever? Well, that's the dilemma with a free-to-play game, is they ban them and then they come back. It slows them down. Well, and see, that's the thing. I touched on that a little bit ago and probably didn't touch on it long enough. It really is about slowing them down. Like, that's really what it's all about. Can you slow them down? Like, they don't necessarily detect that it's happened. They don't necessarily know, so they play for an entire weekend or an entire day, and they don't realize that, man, I'm having great games. Yeah, you're fighting bots and other cheaters, you idiot, right? And all of a sudden they catch on. Well, now they have to make another account and jump back in. They make another account, they jump back in, they get detected, they get thrown into that funnel, and it takes them a while to realize. So what you're doing is you're minimizing how often that they interact with the real community. They're constantly interacting with the cheating community and bots, right? If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the Halo Infinite update. Big Team Battle Hotfix could be on the way, as soon as next week. If you're enjoying the coverage, hit subscribe and the bell button. Give that like button a smash. If you want to support directly, there's a $sign at the bottom of chat. You can do a tip or a membership. Really, subscribing is free, and we love seeing that sub count go up. And, take the poll at the top of the chat. We want to hear from you. What do you think they should focus their attention on first? Big Team Battle, cheating, Forge, or co-op? Most people are saying Big Team Battle and cheating, which makes sense. Those seem to be front-facing issues right now facing the game. They'll just create another account. They might even come back with better hacks. Right, but again, they come back with better hacks. You detect them. You throw them into a lobby of cheaters and botters, and then how long does it take them to figure that out? Right? You would hope a while. I had to bar my son from Fortnite for a while. I walked into his room. He had both his Xbox and Switch accounts logged in and was doing some kind of farming that I didn't understand. I don't know what you're doing, son, but you can't play for a while. They need hardware bans. Yeah, the challenge with the hardware ban is we've talked about this in the past when cheating comes up with respect to consoles. The last thing Microsoft wants to do is to flood the market with consoles that cannot play particular games. So if you imagine, in Call of Duty Warzone, they at one point in time had banned over 500,000 accounts, okay? And if, let's say, 150 to 200,000 of those accounts decide that once they're hardware banned, well, then they're going to go and sell their hardware in the market. And then somebody buys it and can't play that game. What you're doing then is you're flooding the market with consoles that can't spend any money, can't buy or play anything, and that's not good. That's not good for Microsoft, Sony, or anybody. They have a vested interest into making sure that consoles don't get hardware banned. Now, that's not quite the same as the PC world. So the problem with the PC world is the more sophisticated cheaters, they tend to use VPNs and hardware spoofing. Now, going back to what Orphan Twin said, it slows them down. So what you want to do is you want to hit it at multiple levels. If you're doing a hardware ban, don't do IP bans because people generally, get new IPs or VPN or IPs get refreshed. So that's not a good idea either, right? So what you do is you say, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit broad spectrum here. We're going to hardware ban, and sure, the spoofers will get past that, but we're going to hardware ban. The other thing we're going to do is once we detect a channel, an account is cheating, we're going to throw them into lobbies where they're playing against bots and other cheaters, okay? Then, after that, we're going to do account recreation. Like once you jump back in, we're going to create like a barrier between brand new accounts jumping in to, the general population. So there's a period of time where if you're cheating, we're going to have an easier time detecting you because we have new players in their own funnel for their first, 10 games. And they don't tell the public any of this. So what they're doing is they're increasing the likelihood that they catch you, sequester you, and ban you. Then they're increasing the likelihood that you can't come back in because they're hardware banning your PC. Now, I don't think hardware banning the consoles is really necessary because, again, you don't want to flood the market with consoles that can't play Halo Infinite. And you also, you're less likely to probably run into cheaters, people using a cheat on a console anyway. So if you're tuning in, we'd love to hear from you. If you like Variety Gaming News coverage, make sure and hit subscribe. We're talking about the Halo Infinite update, the Big Team Battle hotfix that's hopefully on the way. We read through the 343 blog post. And we'd love to hear from you if you're a new member of the community. And don't forget, we do Halo Infinite custom games on Friday night, and we'd love to see you there. What about an IP ban? Yeah, IP bans I don't think work all that well. At fair point, it would suck to buy a secondhand console that can't play your favorite game. Right. You buy some secondhand console and you learn that it's like hardware banned from Call of Duty. It's hardware banned from, Halo and Fortnite. And you're like, what the frick did I get? What did I just buy here? Right. Cheating is the same as piracy. You can only delay it because it's fueled by consumers of the product, unfortunately. Right. 500,000 less players is a rough number to explain in an investor meeting, too. Well, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of these companies are trying to focus on is like it really comes down to repeat offenders a lot of the times, right? You know, if you got repeat offenders and that's the issue, you know, they're gonna you know, they're gonna keep coming back in. It looks like New World is filming their January update. Excited to see the Play New World January update is likely being filmed. Excited to see the Play New World January update is likely being filmed. Tweet. It's good to see. We need something. Doom, that might be the first step. Oh, just turning off crossplay? Yeah. Turning off crossplay is probably a good first step. Yeah. Because that's honestly, I think people forget that like running into like a legitimate like cheater on console is just so rare compared to, you know, how often they show up on PC, right? Like it's got to be a 10 to 1. It's got to be a 10 to 1. People that actually figure out how to like legitimately cheat on their console compared to how many people can boot up and cheat on you know, on PC. It's got to be a 10 to 1 ratio. Easy. Those cheaters aren't investing, they're costing you players that do. That's right. You need a barrier that is not annoying to cross once, but is annoying to cross multiple times. I don't know how that would work. I mean, I suppose what you could say is you could say, we're going to make you do preliminary things that you have to play every time. And then that creates a barrier against the people that just jump back in, jump back in and cheat. So you create that barrier. Make it, you know, don't make it a nuisance for a brand new player, but on your 6th, 7th, and 8th time, it might be considered a nuisance. You know. And then you could use that preliminary time as a really, really great way to like analyze their player behavior, analyze their stats. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't tell them that you're doing this, right? You would not tell them that you're doing this. You would say something to the effect of like, we're not going to tell them that we're doing this, but in the background, if we see a disproportionate amount of people, you know, starting the game and immediately having super impressive stats, and their kill death and their accuracy is in some very, very bizarre upper threshold, well, then you would more heavily monitor that player, right? Or you would almost immediately throw them in a stack of like reviews, like review their gameplay, review their behavior, and then you'd start catching cheaters a whole lot faster. Because they're like, let's be honest, not all cheaters are going to fall into this category, right? Not all cheaters, but I think a lot of cheaters are dumb. I think a lot of them are dumb. And I think they would jump back in. And immediately start cheating. You know? And you'd catch them, you know? I just saw what the G4 lady said and what Adam said. G4 will go down again. What do you mean go down again? Why? Legit question. Do you think the next Spider-Man game will be cross-gen? Oh, Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine? I don't know. I could see Wolverine being a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and I could see Spider-Man 2 being cross-gen. because they likely started working on the sequel to Spider-Man pretty quickly and pretty early. And given that they got Miles Morales to work on PlayStation 4, I could see them doing it. Now, I could also see them wanting to harness a lot of what they did in Ratchet and Clank and bringing it to Spider-Man 2 and saying, look, no, it's PS5 exclusive. Wheezy says it's a PS5 only, already confirmed. I didn't see that confirmed. So it has been confirmed that Spider-Man 2 will be... that seems so odd how popular Spider-Man is and how many PlayStation 4s there are in circulation. Sony will not allow cross-gen. Wolverine will be cross. God of War will be the last one. They got Miles Morales to run, though, on PlayStation 4. Game Rant. Spider-Man 2 is a PS5 exclusive, not a PS4 game. There you have it. I was wrong. I thought certainly with Spider-Man's global popularity, you would, and the saturation of the PS4, you would have put it on both. Spider-Man 2 is slated for 2023, 2024, if I recall. You're still not going to have good PS5 saturation by then. You know that, Wheeze. I'm not saying that takes away from the fact. The fact is the fact. I'm not trying to take away from the fact, but I'm just surprised. Given that even by end of 2024, PS5 saturation is still not going to be anywhere close to the PS4. Miles is PS5 only? Yeah, and they brought it to the PS4. You can get Miles Morales on the PS4 right now, can you not? That was a huge thing. They said, hey, we're going to give you a version. I'm not disputing it. I believe you that Spider-Man 2 will be PS5 only. I'm just surprised given console saturation. To me, it's surprising. Spider-Man 2 coming exclusively to PlayStation 5 in 2023. Yeah. I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing it at all. I'm saying I find it surprising given saturation of consoles in the market. Miles is on PS4, can confirm. Okay. It looks like Wolverine's going to be PS5 as well. $2023, probably close to 40 million. Yeah, that's still going to be like a third of the PlayStation 4. At that point, 2023 rolls around, it'll be 3 years since the launch of the console. Cross-gen support will be dying out. I'm not disputing that. Cross-gen will be dying out at that time. Given Spider-Man's global popularity and how well the first game did, it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me if Spider-Man 2 lands on PS5 and a couple months later they kick out a PS4 version. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't. They'll use the launch of Spider-Man 2 to push console sales. Who knows? By then they could have some really amazing Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5 combo units. And 3 months later, it would not surprise me at all if they suddenly pushed out and said, hey, we were able to get Spider-Man 2 built into a PS4 version the same way we did Miles Morales. Because you're talking about an insane number of sales that would come from that. So many PlayStation 4s in circulation. Where'd you see the update? The Halo Infinite update was on their website. It was a 343 blog. They talked about the big team battle hotfix. If you're tuning in for the Halo Infinite update, they posted a blog post, and I read through it at the beginning of this stream if you want to rewind to the beginning. And so that is, they basically confirmed they're going to be working on cheating and a big patch for mid-February. There's a hotfix for big team battle coming. And they also said they're trying to put together a roadmap. A Halo Infinite roadmap is apparently on the way. They said that it's just complicated and there's a lot of moving parts. And I was like, what the frick? For a roadmap? The game can't drop on PS4. Miles isn't a next-gen game. It just has cool camera angles. That's not true. That's not true. Miles Morales had things in it that was next-gen. They did all kind of stuff with the lighting, resolution, frames per second. Isn't Sony itself buying PlayStation 4s right now? I hear they're buying them for the chips. I've not heard that. First-party studios stopped making games for the old consoles 2.5 to 3 years in. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying that I think that Sony is in a different situation. They are dealing with a global situation and a saturation situation that will likely, that might influence the decision making. You're gonna have to have a backwards compatible downgraded version of Spider-Man 2. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised. 3 months later, they announced Spider-Man 2 coming to PlayStation 4. I wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened. I'm not saying it will, but that is a huge, huge freaking market to just be like, nah, it's okay. I know we're jumping subjects here. So if you're tuning in for Halo Infinite news or the Halo Infinite update, we've been discussing it for about an hour, and I'm asking people at the top of the chat, if you chose what you would put in a Halo Infinite update, what would you choose first? Big team battle, cheating, forge, or co-op? Right now, big team battle and cheating are winning, and I think that makes perfectly good sense. It's sensible to pick the things that are facing us right now, like big team battle not working well, cheating being a problem. Now some people were saying that cheating gets overstated, that it's not as bad as everybody says, and so I'm always curious to hear what you guys have to say about that. Like, how many cheaters are you running into? Where do you think they hand? Not interested in this. Where do you think they primarily show up? Check even Microsoft's future releases. Everything that is in the summer and beyond is all slated for Series X, S, and PC. Akuda Papa says, I'm reporting people in Halo Infinite SWAT every 1 to 2 matches. Really? Wow. Every 1 to 2 matches. No cheaters, but lag and skill-based matchmaking is killing me. How many people in chat are experiencing Halo Infinite lag more than cheating? Right? There's a lot of Halo Infinite cheaters out there, but are you experiencing lag and desync more, or running into cheaters more? From your, just from your own observation. I feel like SWAT's the easiest to get away with. Yeah, you could hide a high probability of headshots in SWAT pretty easy if you're aimbotting. Paul says, I go 20-1 and I know I'm being reported. Somebody in chat says, I play nothing but SWAT and I rarely see a cheater. Mouse and keyboard flicks are not cheaters. It's possible. It's possible that you're just not used to flicks in Halo, because Halo is, controller-based historically, slightly slower. So target acquisition times might be increasing due to mouse flicks. Thank you to all the new people hitting subscribe today. Welcome on in. If you're a fan of Halo Infinite, we appreciate you being here. Subscribing is free. It enables you to talk in our chat. Take my poll at the top of the chat. What would you focus on first if you were building a Halo Infinite update? Orphan says, here's one. Cause fake lag or other issues. Invent a pop-up that sounds like the cheating software is the cause of the lag. IGN reported that a PS5 shortage has reportedly led Sony to make more PS4s than initially planned. Yeah, so it could, like I'm saying, the plan for Spider-Man could change. You got to understand that Spider-Man is the king. He is the king. The most globally recognized, most popular superhero on the single highest saturated console. I don't care what year it is. Money's money, brother. I've seen plenty of clips of blatant cheaters. Michael says, I haven't experienced cheating once on PC. Maybe it's the stickiness of the BR. With how sticky the battle rifle is on the hip-on controller, I can't even complain about cheaters. Yeah, it's pretty free sometimes if you use the battle rifle, appropriately. The way the music industry fights leaks is by flooding the internet with fake or screwed up versions of the leak. This could be done with cheating software. Yeah, for real. You could impersonate the cheating company. What's the cheating company going to do? Sue you? Well, right, they want to move consoles, so sure, like I said, they would launch Spider-Man 2 PS5 exclusive, and then 3 months later, they would be like, all right, we came up with a PS4 version. God of War for PC is getting really, really good reviews. Not surprising. They added some really, really nice features. We'll be sure to check those out. Boy. God of Boy. We will be sure to check those out. Spider-Man Miles Morales? Yeah, they did it with Miles Morales, I'm telling you. I saw God of War trending, that's why I started clicking on stuff. So yeah, the PC version's getting really, really, really good reviews. Salvo says, hi everyone, topic for you. What guns do you think should be buffed or nerfed? Yeah, I almost did a video on this, so we could shift gears here a little bit and let the chat knock this one around. What do you guys think of the Mangler? There are some calls already and some predictions that the Halo Infinite Mangler nerf is coming, that it'll be nerfed. I'll give you my thoughts on the matter in just a minute. I want to hear what you guys have to say first before I share my thoughts on it. But there is seemingly a growing concern or request for the Halo Infinite Mangler nerf. Like, that seems to be something that people are concerned is coming. There also seems to be people calling for it and saying that it should be nerfed. As again, I have my own position on the matter that I'll share with you in a moment. But I want to know what you guys think first before I do that. UK Stobbs with 9 months of membership. Miles was a small DLC. Spidey 2 is going to be huge. That's a good pushback. That's good. Thank you for 9 months, Stobbs. A nerf makes no sense. Mangler is basically the Magnum. It's my favorite gun. It's so good. It didn't always hit hard. I love the Mangler. It will be nerfed. LOL. It's amazing. The Mangler DPS is perfect for me, says Salvo. Probably they should increase spawn cooldown and ammo. The Mangler is strong, says Abe, but I don't think it's OP. It's a solid weapon that has drawbacks. The projectile drop-off raises the skill gap. One shot and a melee, says Mo. Yeah, that might be the issue, is the you just hip fire it in melee, like up close. That might be a little busted. Mangler needs a nerf, question mark, says Akuta Papa. Nah, it kills in 3 hits, and it's really only useful in close range, but it's balanced by the slow fire. Yeah, I would say that the Mangler is one of the best guns in the game because it is so perfectly balanced, as all things should be, Thanos. No, I think it is. I think the Mangler is very well balanced. Its fire rate, its drop-off, its effective range, and its damage, and time to kill, I think it's all in a very, very good lane. The need to use it skillfully, I think, is rewarded with good time to kill, but it's very easy to have its time to kill ruined. You miss a shot, and its time to kill immediately starts to tank. So I actually think it's a very, very good weapon. I think it's one of the better weapons in the game with respect to balance, sound design, and how it looks. I don't think they're going to turn the game into a looter, but the Mangler gives me hope that if they decided to turn the game into a looter, they could, if they wanted to. I don't think they are, but the Mangler is a great weapon, for many reasons. We knew that House of Gucci was going to get tons of noms. Screen Actors Guild giving Jared and Lady Gaga noms. Not surprising. All I know is it's a hell of a weapon. I love how it stays the same. The Mangler should never be a starting weapon. It's just like the No Land Beyond. Takes skill to use. Sorry for the reference. That's fine. Justin says, the problem with the Mangler is it kills faster than the sword and the hammer at close range with the one shot at a melee. It's the competitive players complaining about it. Right, and that's what I kind of drew some attention to. Being able to hip fire and then melee is potentially a problem. That's potentially a problem because that creates imbalance in that space. Like when you're occupying that space of within melee range, being able to hip fire and then punch is extremely easy at that range, especially with that gun. It's going to be a true next-gen game where they're going to do things not possible on the PS4. We all know Ratchet can't be on PS4, and you can bet your next dollar Spider-Man will do the same. Yeah, I said that. I said that there's a big part of me that thinks that they will try to do a lot of the things they did in Ratchet, because we even theorized that the next Spider-Man would be like an Into the Spider-Verse experience, and they would use a lot of what they did in Ratchet and Clank, and they would bring it over, similar different worlds and rifts and things like that. I don't play Halo and I'm sick. I demand you talk about something else or I will cry. I guess we're going to be talking about you crying. Money's not going to be more important to them than limiting their developers? Sure. Yeah. It just depends on how far they've gotten in the development of Spider-Man, how much they want to do, how much they might start jamming into it from from the other titles, like from the again, I think borrowing some of the stuff they did in Ratchet and Clank, for sure. I could see that being a thing. Because the rifts and the different things opening up and closing in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was very, very cool. Did 343 fix the Mangler? No, they've not done anything to the Mangler. There was a Halo Infinite update about Big Team Battle and how they have a hotfix on the way. And I brought up somebody in chat brought up what guns do we think are OP or whatever. And so I threw it out there and said, what do you guys think of the Halo Infinite Mangler nerf that some people are calling for it to be nerfed? Seems like the pros are primarily calling for the nerf, mainly because of the ability to hip fire and then punch. Won't stock be better on the PS5 incentivized to upgrade? Well, yeah, Tim, we would hope. You would hope that by the time Spider-Man 2 comes out, there's tons of them in circulation. Maybe they could even do, a Spider-Man 2, combo unit or something. Sure. Yeah. But again, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. When the PlayStation 3 was on its last legs and the PS2 is the best-selling console of all time, they still made the push. Yeah. God of War PC doesn't have an FOV slider? Really? That's kind of surprising. It's probably because of the combat. And how the camera spins and stuff. It's probably built to not have a wider FOV. It would probably mess with things. Even with shortages, the PS5 is already selling at a higher pace than the PS4 at launch did. Yeah. Again, we're kind of feeding a fed horse. I've conceded. I'm trying to kind of heap things on Halo. We're gonna drive Halo fans away, beating the dead horse about PlayStation 5 and Spider-Man. I've conceded the point multiple times that I get it. They've said it. It's a fact. I just wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me at all if they alter their plans, given what they've just recently had to alter with respect to PS4 production and the size and reach of that game. That's all. It wouldn't shock me if 3 months after the launch, they're like, "Hey, we've got a PS4 version for you guys," because it would sell really, really well. Because we all know that the first 2 weeks are when they sell the most copies, and that's when they would get the most people to push and switch and maybe buy a new console. Is it pros or streamers, says Akuta Papa? Somebody in chat said that the pros in Halo are the ones calling for the Mangler nerf. They're the ones calling for it. Because of the hip fire punch that you can do. I did it the other day, and it kind of took me by surprise. I hit the guy with the Mangler, I shot him, and then I punched him, and I was like, what? I thought maybe he had already taken damage. Because it did. It seemed ridiculous. It seemed incredibly fast. Like, time to kill in Halo is not very quick. The fastest time to kill that I've felt is either when you land a God nade, or you get a really good drill down with the assault rifle, and then you punch them. But a Mangler and then a punch is, I don't know. I just feels like that just feels like that throws off game rhythm. Like, when you're close to somebody and that's all they have to do to kill you, that was one of my frustrations when we were playing Fiesta. So it was the Halo Christmas event. No, it was the Tenrai event. So the Halo Tenrai event comes around. I'm like, all right, let me go get some of this samurai armor. And I boot up and I'm playing, and we're playing Fiesta. And we keep getting, scoped long range weaponry, and they keep getting swords. So they kept like grappling us and hitting us with swords. And it was frustrating. It was like, my gosh, like, or can we get some decent weapons here? So if you're consistently playing against people that are able to do that are able to, just basically hip fire and punch you, then that's pretty extreme. And I would imagine that's why the pros are saying what they're saying. So Loco confirmed that Toast's ban is only 2 days. Told y'all this has all been a stunt. Hang on. Told y'all, just a big stunt. Enjoy the extra money for brazenly breaking the rules and copyright law. There you go. Here's your money. Here's your money for breaking the rules. Ghost Rider with a $5 tip. Got my coffee delivery yesterday. Tell your kids I said thanks for the awesome drawings. Thank you so much, Ghost Rider. Glad you're enjoying the coffee. Salvo says, do you think the plasma pistol and the pulse carbine need better tracking shots? Sometimes they feel off and other times awesome. It's weird. I wonder if that is indicative of desync and lag more than anything. Right? It's the desync and lag is messing with the weapon, so maybe the weapon is totally fine, That's entirely possible. That's what's happening. It could also be Bloom. But I mean, like I said, I was playing the one day, and like there was a handful of fights throughout the entire match where I'm like, bro, I'm shooting through people. Well, I mean, that could mess with those guns as well. I watched half of your live stream yesterday. Why would Doc want to sign a contract with YouTube? Why not be a freelance? Because being freelance doesn't get you anything. A contract gets you big money, and it sends a loud and clear message. Toast was milking it? Yeah. They're all milking it. They're all doing the same thing. They're brazenly breaking the rules to get banned, and then they get to cash in. They get to absolutely cash in. They're basically so big. They're basically so big that like what are they going to do? What are they going to do to them? They're not going to permanently ban any of them, so they get to break the rules and make a ton of money. He'd be under another overlord? You think Tim the Tapman and Dr. Lupo and Ludwig, you think they care about being under an overlord? He had an 8-figure contract with Purple. Doc's not anti-contract. He had one with Purple. I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think you're saying something for Doc that he wouldn't say himself. I don't think he himself would say that he's like against, contracts or something. Like, oh, I don't want to be under another overlord. Joe said he was only doing it to draw attention to the unfair standards and that he planned to get banned. Doubt. You don't get to dress it up. Oh, I'm only doing this to draw attention to unfair standards. Doubt. They were all doing it for weeks, and when it started to get attention of hey, I don't think you should be doing it, all of a sudden he's gonna dress it up as what is he being chaotic good? Sorry, I don't believe him. There's no reason to believe him. He's benefited from it greatly. To suddenly turn it into a Robin Hood situation or something? No. Yeah, I don't believe that. And what unfair standards is he trying to draw attention to? The fact that the Purple platform enforces its TOS inconsistently, the fact that they favor larger streamers, the fact that they don't abide by their own TOS even when they permanently suspend people. What exact unfair standard is he trying to draw attention to by breaking copyright law? I don't know. I'm not connecting dots there. I'm not seeing dots being connected. That sounds like you're trying to dress it up. Is it true that there's going to be Buzz Lightyear armor coating? Oh, I have no idea. I've not seen that. I don't know. He was just saying that in his stream. He said he would stop if guys like Hassan and XQC stopped. I don't understand what that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm breaking the rules to draw attention to the fact that other people are breaking the rules, and I'm going to get banned. Why? I don't understand. So he was baiting the ban. Why? Because XQC didn't get banned, and Hassan didn't get banned for DMCA. The only person who got banned for DMCA so far is Pokey and Toast. Just because YouTube's better than Purple doesn't mean you can't still get screwed. YouTube's come a long way. Well, yeah, I feel like YouTube has moved very, very far away from just doing stuff because they don't like a person or something. Somebody showed me a video from 11 years ago where Total Biscuit had a video taken down basically by a developer. And there was some nasty stuff going on back then. He recounted a time where like people got videos taken down so their trailer could be the #1 video on search. Well, that was 11 years ago. I think YouTube as a platform has settled down significantly with regard to that stuff. Like, they take it very seriously when someone submits a false DMCA and things like that. Like, false reporting is taken pretty seriously over here. I'm trying to say he's not special and that he's not above the same things other streamers are pursuing financially. Yeah, Eugene was saying that, like, Doc isn't in some special category of, like, I'll never sign a contract. That's what he was saying. Like I said, he signed one with Purple. I think it would just send a loud and clear message that, you know, YouTube just became profitable like 4 years ago or so. Yeah. YouTube feels more open and the uppers are way more proactive and helpful. His logic was essentially, they're allowing some big names to do it without consequences. It's been going on for a while, so he would do it to bring attention and prepared to be banned for it. So, Disguised Toast leaves Facebook, comes back to Twitch, and gets an exclusivity contract, and he doesn't consider himself one of the quote-unquote big guys. With 2.3 million followers on Purple and 82 million views on his channel. So he's half the size of Pokimane. And that's not a small feat. The guy's got over 2 million followers and just signed an exclusivity contract. You're in the... How can you be like, I'm really mad that the 0.01 percenters are streaming copyrighted material? You are one of the 0.01 percenters, bro. What are you talking about? You're a literal billionaire. What... Not saying he's right, just saying what he said in his stream. No, Reese's, I understand you're being a mouthpiece, so I'm not coming at you. I'm saying I don't believe him. I don't believe him. You can't be literally one of the biggest streamers on the platform with an exclusivity contract and be like, well, this isn't fair, because the teeny infinitesimal size, like the teeny amount of streamers that are bigger than me are getting to do this thing and it's wrong. Whatever. No, he was doing it for weeks too. When the news first broke, it was the three: XQC, Pokimane, and Toast. Those are the three names getting thrown around. No, he's not unironically saying that he thinks he's fighting a good fight. He's just telling me what he said. I'm doing this to bring attention to it. I'm gonna get banned, sure. No, they were all doing the same thing. They all knew what they were doing. They were playing chicken with DMCA, knowing that if they get banned, it won't hurt them. They make more money. And yeah, I get fired up about it. Because these people get to brazenly break the rules, and I never broke a single rule. That platform is a friggin' joke. He was crapping on Twitch for how they treated him, and then he signed an exclusive contract. Right! Yeah, 1 week I'm making a video about how he's like, their offers were pitiful. They said nasty things about me being an Asian, and then a week later he signs with them. And I'm streaming copyrighted material to I'm trying to be a good guy. Shut the frick up. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're chasing money just like the rest of them. I don't buy it for a fricking minute. You badmouth the platform, a week later you sign with them, and then a week later you're streaming copyrighted material and continue to do it, to expose it and be the good guy. Yeah, it must be so hard to make billions, and to make a couple extra, hundreds of thousands of dollars will likely result from this, because he'll come back to uproarious applause and subs and likes, and, Pokey got 330,000 new followers when she came back. Got more than 250,000 new followers for breaking the law. Talk about freaking privilege. Talk about privilege. How old's the demographic for these streamers? They're like mid to late 20s. They're mid to late 20s, Zubair. They've not, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a husband and a dad, you know, it's like I worked and worked and worked and worked, had a 6-figure channel ripped from me over nothing, and then these people are just like these 20-something billionaires that are like, well, I'll just publicly break the law and I'll make a ton of money doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, put yourself in my shoes. Like, losing a 6-figure business over claims, false claims, claims that lack credibility, and then watching billionaire 20-somethings just like break the law and then just be like, here you go. Here's a 48-hour. You'll make a ton of money when you come back. It's just a friggin' joke. It's a joke. Millionaire Lono, they don't have the B yet? I don't know. Millionaire, fine. I misspoke. Not billionaire. Watching millionaires, watching 20-something millionaires just like brazenly break the law and make money while doing it. More money because they're doing it. It's a friggin' joke. I don't know. The platform will fold in on itself, I would imagine, with that kind of nonsense going on. It just doesn't seem long for this world. They don't seem to have, like we talked about in the Discord last night, like they don't have the technology to get in front of this. It's going to become open season. God of War, Horizon, Gran Turismo, potential PSVR 2 news, and a lot more could make 2022 a very busy year for the PS4 and the PS5 players. And Forspoken. Bans are going up. Last 30 days, 102, up from 90. Yeah, I don't. Disney's gonna strike first when they do it. It's over for Twitch. No, Twitch is not in any danger. Twitch is only in danger if they don't do what they're supposed to do. As long as they act as the go-between for the DMCA, then they're not in any danger. The biggest thing they're in danger of, we talked about this yesterday in the Discord, is they don't have the technology to stop it. They don't. So like YouTube has content ID, a content ID database. So the minute that you stream or upload something that you don't have the rights to, you get bopped. Like right now, if I just pulled up and put myself down in the corner, right? If I just put myself down in the corner like this, and right here, instead of Halo, I just started playing the Avengers on Disney or whatever, I'd get snagged. I don't even know. I don't know how fast it would be. Less than 5 minutes, maybe? The content ID database would catch me, and I'd be done. Strike. Bam. Like that. Stream would disappear. I'd get shut down, and I'd have a strike on the channel. because they have a content ID database. If you upload it, you can't even publish the dadgum thing. They catch it before you can publish the video. Let's test it. So, Purple doesn't have the technology. They don't. And it's going to be just like the hate raid thing. Like, the minute people realize that they don't have the technology to put a stop to it, it'll just keep happening. Now all these little teeny streamers are going to be doing it. It'll be all over the site. There'll be people unlisting they won't put themselves in a directory. So they'll be like an unlisted stream, and they'll be streaming stuff illegally, and they'll let their friends know, or they'll let forums know, or whatever. And then what's Purple going to do? What are they going to do? They don't have the technology to stop it. So more than likely, the Purple platform engineers are spending this month and the foreseeable future coming up with a technology fix for this. Like, how in the frick do we put a stop to this? Because we talked about this yesterday. Like, the Purple platform says, like, they don't have the authority to make a legal judgment. And it's like, okay, that's fine. So you don't have to make or claim DMCA. It's up to the rights holders to do that. However, every TV show and movie has an assumed copyright. It has an assumed copyright. And it's assumed that Johnny Streamer doesn't have distribution rights. So if they find you streaming content like that, they would basically send you an email and say, hey, you need to produce proof that you have the right to distribute this. And if not, they would take the video down or like make it hidden or something and be like, this will stay hidden until you provide distribution right proof. And if you don't have distribution rights proof, this is your warning. And if you do it again, you will be suspended. It's not hard. Like the website's not set up for that. You're not supposed to be like doing like, oh, let's watch movies and TV shows together. They all have assumed copyright. So, my channel is not monetized. I make mashup Borderlands videos using copyrighted music in my videos. Can my YouTube channel get banned? It depends on the record label. You're playing with fire. You're playing with fire. 7 out of 10 record labels will just tell you can't monetize that video. It'll just get demonetized, right? But 3 out of 10 might strike the channel. They have a right to strike it and say, nope, boom, you can't use that song. Collect no money from it, though. It's not about the monetization, homie. Like, boot up right now on YouTube and just stream as a hobby, no money attached to it. Just stream full albums and see what the frick happens. It's just my hobby. I want to be a DJ, right? Well, you better hope that the record labels don't decide to strike you, because your channel's going to disappear pretty freaking quick. Most labels, Jimmy, most record labels will just hit the video and say, you can't monetize this. That's all they do. That's all they do. But the one record label that decides to hit you with a strike, you have no way to protect against it because you don't have a right to use the song. He's not sticking it to the man. MasterChef employs hundreds of people. They employ no one and work with volunteer Zoomers. Oh, I think they don't consider the fact that like a lot of people work on the show and are then paid according to how well the show does and its distribution. I don't know. Direct. This guy's saying, let me check. Well, before I say this, let me check. He's saying that they've updated redirects on YouTube so that you can grant other people the ability to redirect. It's my understanding that is still not allowed. Paste channel URL of a user as an approved user. Moderators, users, hidden users, blocked. Yeah. There still, as far as I can see, there's no way for me to grant somebody the ability, unless it's in permissions. Manage permissions. It could be in permissions, because you're supposed to be able to approve somebody. You're supposed to be able to approve somebody to redirect to your channel, and it's not been working. Because we've been wanting to be able to do that, like especially in the afternoon when we do a premiere. Manager, communications manager, owner. Yeah, it's not there either. It's supposed to be in the community tab. And it's not. Approved users. Comments from these users are automatically published and won't be filtered or blocked. Yeah, there's no approval. I can't like approve a channel for redirects yet. Sadly, this isn't fully implemented yet. We redirect all the time, but only to a second stream on the same channel. I currently don't have an option to grant redirect privileges to my other channels or any channel for that matter. Zach Busey's commenting. He and I have gone back and forth a couple times recently. He's like an industry commentator. YouTube's supposed to be rolling out updates, yeah, but they haven't done much, unfortunately. What did J-Stock say? Just found out my wife's pregnant with our second. We've been trying. Oh, that's awesome, J-Stock. Congrats on the second one. You could approve everyone or just single users. Well, what you would do is you would approve individual channels for redirect. So, like, let's say me and, Ginger Prime, we're friends, right? Well, then we could grant each other the ability for redirect. So when I go on his podcast or I shut down for the day, I can be like, hey guys, Ginger's doing something right now and I'm going to redirect you over there, right? Right now, I can only redirect to my own stuff on this channel. So when we do a second stream, then I'm able to do that. I'm able to be like, yeah, let's redirect you to the next one. But I'm not able to redirect you to like the afternoon premiere over on Presents. So, unfortunately, the feature has not been fully implemented. It's like, it says that you should be able to do it, but then you go to community settings and it's not there. Like, there's no way to do it. Unless that feature's been slowly rolling out. Due for another appearance? I feel like I was just on. I like being on his podcast, but I feel like we were kind of just on over there, weren't we? Feel like we were. We got off subject. No, we're about 2 hours in. We got off subject pretty early, so if there's anybody that tuned in for the Halo Infinite update with respect to the Big Team Battle hotfix, be sure to subscribe and put your questions in chat if you have any questions. We didn't stick. We didn't stick the landing with this topic. People bailed from it pretty quickly. I thought the information was pretty interesting that they're going to address cheating. There's a big February update. 343 Industries refer to themselves as a live service studio. The ETA on the hotfix is likely next week or the week after. And they have a Halo Infinite roadmap incoming that we're hoping to see make a big, hopefully a big change in people's perceptions of where things are going. So, ouch. I don't even know what the update is, but I'm having a good time. Yeah, we've been trying, and you guys can help me with this. I try to keep the show on subject for at least the first hour of the show, because I want anybody new to my content who comes by later and watches it as a VOD. I want them to at least be like, oh, they talked about Halo or whatever the case may be. They talked about it for 30, 45 minutes to an hour. Because sometimes we get like 10 minutes in, and it's like we're immediately jumping ship, and I've been trying to keep us from doing that. Bashing Halo has run its course. Say it isn't so. I wasn't even really bashing them today. I felt like we were being very fair today, Hard to jump from PlayStation to Xbox. Well, see, the reason that we do it, Reckless, is in my mind is that if you saw the Horizon thing in your sub feed this morning, you might not be interested because you're maybe your Xbox. And then you'd see this in your sub feed in the afternoon, and then you'd come on in. So that's generally how we've approached the Double Talk Show. Is it's really, really good for variety, for fans of Halo to feel like they get regular coverage, and PlayStation fans to feel like they get regular coverage, things like that. Keeping us on topic is like herding cats. Yeah. Lono, do you have any thoughts on how YouTube could promote organic channel growth with raids, or do you think it would go down the same road as Purple, where raids are used to consolidate power? Oh no, Arch Enigma, no. YouTube could benefit greatly from raids. See, the problem with the redirect thing is like, you have to give me permission to redirect to you, right? So like, I'd have to go, I'd have to go and like ask, hey, is it okay if I redirect to you? And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. Then they'd have to go back into their settings and approve me before I could redirect to them. Think about how recommendations work and how the platform works. Let's say I'm covering Halo Infinite, and we're doing some really fun, Halo Infinite gameplay, and we're having a good time, and we're checking out some new event, and I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to shut down for the day. Let's see who else is playing Halo Infinite multiplayer right now. And I go, and I find someone. Right? There are no directories on YouTube. There are, but it functions a little bit differently, and we're hoping that when they update YouTube Gaming that it looks significantly better. So let's just say I go and I click on Halo Infinite and I see some other people that are streaming, and I'm like, oh hey, I checked this guy's videos out the other day, he's pretty cool. And I send you over there, right? Now, YouTube could measure that and say, okay, how long did the people from this Halo Infinite stream, how long did they stay in this Halo Infinite stream? Because YouTube users behave quite a bit differently than Purple users. Purple users tend to leave immediately when their streamer goes offline. YouTube users tend to stay on YouTube. They just float to the next video, whatever's recommended next or whatever's next in their subfeed. You tend to just kind of stay on. 70% of YouTube's viewership comes from suggestions. So what they would do is they would say, oh wow, a huge percentage of these people stuck around in that stream for 15 or 20 minutes. That's not bad click and stick, right? So we do this, and when that happens, now they have data in the background that gives them plenty of reason to suggest that guy's videos to you when you're browsing YouTube. You're looking for Halo Infinite stuff or news or whatever, and guess what? You consume my content, and now you consume some of that guy's content, and they have a better idea of what to suggest to you and what to feed you. So then you're more likely to click, more likely to have a satisfying and a positive experience, more likely to return. So the difference on the Purple platform is driven by volume, and it's top heavy. So people used raids to control exposure. That's not how YouTube works. YouTube functions purely off of algorithmic discovery. So when you're feeding that algorithmic discovery process good data, it can then know who and when to suggest the right content to the right people. I wonder how that holds for people watching streams on YouTube. We can see our audience metrics, and we know that you guys, that most of our audience stays on YouTube until about 6 o'clock. I can see that. I can see the metrics. So that means when I shut down, most of my audience stays on YouTube. We know this. We can check the stats. The bulk of the audience is here between 11 in the morning until 6 in the evening. So You guys aren't bailing. It would it would be very obvious if you guys all bailed on YouTube after I wasn't live. It'd be super obvious. I'd go to the audience tab and 3 or 4 in the afternoon would hit and it would go boom and it'd be nothing. The numbers would just plummet. But the numbers stay strong until about 6 p.m. Eastern. So always makes me uncomfortable when you boil down humanity to metrics. I'm not boiling down humanity to metrics. I was asked a question about would rating create some of the same problems that it created on the Purple platform? Because the Purple platform basically used rating to control the top of the directory to make it to where people couldn't compete. You would limit who got the exposure. There would be 5 to 10 people who would control who was at the top, and then everybody else would never get up there. They'd never get the exposure. Therefore, their growth was capped and limited. That's not how YouTube works. YouTube is not driven by volume. It's not driven by a directory or something that is top heavy. It's driven by recommendation, suggestion, the user's behavior. I'm bailing, Keck. No. I know you do. I know some of you do, but I'll tell you right now. Because it tells you many, most, and little or something. I forget the exact phrasing it uses. I can tell you in a second. So, all the way up until 6 p.m. Eastern, many of your viewers are on YouTube, right? Starting at 9 in the morning, many of your viewers are on YouTube, right? And then from 11 till 3, very many, right? Makes sense, right? 11 to 3 is when I shut down. 11 to 3, very many. But, when it's 9 to 6, many. The biggest portion. That same is true on Saturday, and I don't even frickin' stream on Saturday. On Saturday from 10 in the morning to 6 in the evening, many of my viewers are on YouTube. So rating on videos growing your audience, new viewers who returned. Oh, interesting. Is that a new metric? That's really cool to see. Every single thing is almost all Elden Ring. Jiminy freaking Christmas. Every single video that has had really good return of new people is all Elden Ring. So yeah, rating would function very differently on YouTube than it would on Purple. Purple rating was used to control directory flow. YouTube doesn't have directory flow. YouTube has discovery, has algorithmic discovery, and that algorithmic discovery can't be tampered with. You can't tamper with it. It's tamper proof because it's based off of the user's behavior. So you can't tamper with it. If a large portion of your audience, goes and supports that host that you do, that raid or that host or whatever, that's helpful data. YouTube then knows, the other thing they would look for is how many people that went and did that raid and host watched more of that person's content. Did they go click and watch other videos and things like that? It tells you how many people from a specific country. Yeah, I can see that. Top geographies here. 53% United States, 8.7% United Kingdom, 4.5% Canada, 2.4% Germany, 1.6% Australia. Below Australia, we get into Brazil, France, Sweden, India, Russia, Netherlands, Poland, Spain, Italy, Mexico, Portugal, Indonesia, South Korea, Norway, Saudi Arabia, Ireland, Philippines, Japan, Turkey, Romania, South Africa, Greece, Denmark, Finland, Belgium, Malaysia, Austria, Hungary, Czechia. It's not Chechnya. It's Czechia. Yeah. Yeah. The smallest amount we get from 77 views from Serbia, 88 views from Slovakia. Yeah. All the way down. No, I can't see individual data. I can just see generic metrics. Yeah. Age and gender, not surprising. 98% male. Not surprising at all. Bulk of my viewers are 25 to 34. Almost half. Half of my viewership's 25 to 34. 35 to 44 makes up 20%. So roughly, 70% of my audience is anywhere from 25 to mid-40s. That doesn't surprise me at all. A lot of you guys watch me as well as Yang, Video Game Data Bank, SNTR Presents, Skill Up, Demone Kim, Ziostorm. No, it wasn't Chechnya. It was Chechia. It was spelled like Chechnya, but it was spelled with an IA at the end. So it was Chech-IA. Chechia. So maybe Czechia. So instead of Chechnya, it was Czechia. No, I don't have a dumpy demographic. How many Gothics in Peterson? They don't show up. Not enough of you watch her or Peterson. There's a handful of Destiny channels in there, but they're getting small. They're getting fewer and fewer. Demone Kim from Genshin. Will I'll be a bunch of gacha players in the room? No, not gacha players. He does New World updates. The correct answer is 100% of my audience is not dumpy. In fact, YouTube says you're all breathtaking. What's most viewed? SNTR Presents. Like the most viewed other channel other than me is SNTR Presents, followed by Young Astacross and Young Ye. People responding to the From Software new game leaked. Wish it were something different, but happy for the fans. Yeah, same. The Presents channel is the next most views. Who could have foreseen that? I'm surprised the SNTR gaming community would like that SNTR Presents guy. I know, right? Hadn't watched him in some time. That's awesome. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of that. Viewer from Romania here. Curious about your Romanian stats. Romania was on there. I think Romania was in the 500 views a month, roughly. 500 Romanians. That sounds like a movie. Coming to a theater near you. 500 Romanians. Rated R for Romania. Hey, I heard he's a crier. Yeah. I don't like that guy. He has totally stolen Lono's whole cranky tiny man routine. Yeah, that's my shtick, dude. You know? That guy needs to get a life. I don't see him getting far on his platform. That should have been the shtick, that Lono goes to SNTR Presents and puts on a mustache and pretends to be a different person. Listen, we already tried the whole character taking over thing with Hillbilly Jack, and it didn't go as well as it should have. It didn't go as well as it should have. Trying to see. Splitgate says, "Happy Take the Stairs Day. We've taken the discovery of portal technology for granted. Take the time to appreciate the stairs. Go stretch those legs." I thought maybe they were gonna like be announcing some mode or something, some non-teleport mode or something. New World Dungeon Mutation Guide. Everything you need to know about the mutation system. Good blog post there. Let's see here. YouTube food channel. Would it work better on YouTube? I think an entire channel of just Hillbilly Jack playing through games, I think could do very well. That's just a question of time. I just don't have enough time to do it, because I'd have to do that off stream and record, and if you really wanted it to be done very well, I would need to hand 2 hours of footage to somebody and have them edit it into a nice 45-minute episode. Hillbilly playing through all kind of games. I mean, I don't know, From Software games could be hilarious. He can play through everything. It doesn't matter. That idea, Hillbilly Jack, was born out of an idea that I had a super long time ago, because I'd be playing through a game and be like, "Oh man, this game's too hard, man," and I would just start doing a stupid voice. And I thought it would be funny to do an entire channel called Hillbilly Let's Plays, and it would literally just be that guy playing through games and being confused by their systems, and not really understanding like what in the world's going on, because of his background and stuff. I think he hit his peak. I guess maybe not his peak, but I think he hit like a really, really good. He folded in really, really well with Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption 2 was probably Hillbilly Jack at his best. I think those were good streams. So, because I went back on my Instagram and found some like old highlights of him playing Fortnite, and it was I don't know. I think that platform and that culture, I think the purple platform and that culture, I think they're threatened by innovation and talent. And I think that anytime that we tried to innovate and do things like that, it was seen as it was squashed. People would make fun of it. People would subtweet, because they didn't want you to be successful. And I think that a lot of that stemmed from that community as well, that the Destiny community. But the purple platform in general does not promote innovation and diversity. It tends to squash it, and that stems from a lot of the I think the brand loyalty. So like just doing a character like that, we got constantly told like, you're just trying to do what Doc's doing. This is just like Bush League Doc or whatever. It would be it would be really, really hard to maintain something like that under that constant sort of scrutiny and negativity. Now, I think I'm in a better headspace now to where I would see that as a good thing, that people are coming in and hating and criticizing and subtweeting and being jealous and nasty. I would take that as a good thing. Back then, I let it get to me, and it made me apprehensive, and it made me stop. I was like, well, the support was bad, the viewership was bad, people are kind of making fun of me, people are kind of taking, passive subtweet shots. And I think a lot of it, again, it just stems from insecurity. I think people wish they could do something like that, like create a character and be brave enough to put yourself out there like that, because it is tough to just suddenly do something like that. Like, I had never done anything like that before. So, I think I'm in a different headspace now, and I would be like, listen, if people are subtweeting, if people are making fun, if people are showing up to tell me that, like, oh, you're just knockoff Doc, that's so much opportunity for viral fire. You would use that to be like, I'm not knockoff Doc, but I would knock Doc off. I'd knock him off the map right now. Tell him to get in here. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, now I would have the mindset and the foresight to be like, this is such an easy way to flip the negativity around and use it. So I think there's space for stuff like that. We're just not there. We don't have the time for it right now. We have a handful of ideas and projects that we're not really talking about that we're hoping we can implement this year. And a Hillbilly Jack channel is just not in the cards. It's not. So Richard is waiting. Yeah. Someone has to drag these bandits. Yeah. I just went to go check something on Purple, loaded a stream, and it was 5 1-minute ads that were non-skippable. Yeah. They do that a lot. I was trying to research. There was that podcast or whatever that they didn't let Ludwig come on, and I went to try to research it, and it was just unbelievable. Like, you click on something, and it's just like immediately, like, it said ad 1 of 8, and I was like, what? And it was 8 30-second ads. I was like, okay. Unironically, that could be a significant portion of what is wrong with the dumpster inferno of an organization. What do you mean? What if you get the guy from SNTR Presents to help? Between the two of you, it might be possible. Wonderlands Wednesdays. Oh, I don't know about that. We're definitely going to be playing Tiny Tina Wonderlands, but I don't know if that we would dedicate a weekly segment to it. I don't know how much we'll be able. I don't know how much we'll be able to do that. We're writing to share to you that starting next month, we'll be adding the option for users to purchase channel memberships on your channel directly in the YouTube iOS app. Once added, you'll see the join button on your channel in the YouTube iOS app, and YouTube users will be able to purchase channel memberships on the channel directly in the app. You'll continue to receive your 70 revenue recognized by Google as taxes are deducted. Note, adding or removing levels in the YouTube iOS app is subject to Apple approval. So there may be a delay for any changes you make to be reflected. This will not impact other platforms outside the iOS app, but during Apple's approval period, your membership offering on the iOS app may be temporarily appearing different than other places. While we are testing channel memberships in the iOS app with a small number of channels for now, iOS users in most countries will be able to purchase channel memberships on these channels directly. We'll continue to expand to other countries in the future. Monthly recurring prices and fees for channel memberships may vary. Okay. See previous comments. Content diversity. There's a girl to your piece and working there. I don't think that they got rid of that security team, didn't they? It was my understanding that security team disbanded. It was like Co-Carnage and some other people, and I don't think it lasted. At least I don't think it did. I could be wrong, but I don't think it lasted. After reading an entire email on stream, this email is confidential and not to be shared publicly. Yeah. Well, adding the join button to the iOS app isn't exactly what I would call sensitive information. Doesn't Apple take their 30% cut too? Is YouTube foregoing their 30%? Maybe they're splitting it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Monhun Rise is today. It is. It's definitely well outside of our wheelhouse, which is why I'm not playing it. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, Wheezy's is out right. Yeah, it's out right now. Wheezy's getting ready to play it. Yeah, the Twitch Safety Advisory Council. Yeah. That was their name. That was their official name. I'm pretty sure it disbanded. Pretty sure. There's no requirement to play the previous games. No, yeah, you can just jump in. Monhunt's so good, though? Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I didn't like it. I find the content loop to be very boring, but I know that there is there's a lot more there's a lot more, people that disagree with me there. It's a super popular game. I remember playing it on Purple, and I remember playing it on Purple and getting lots of growth from it, and I was like, no thanks. I was bored out of my mind. I would 100% for ad-free viewing on Purple versus free games on Amazon Prime. Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's a dead giveaway that the profitability of that platform is just not in the greatest shape because they don't make their turbo. They make their turbo kind of like hard to find, right? They make it hard to find. Like YouTube with YouTube Premium, like they're all about it. They're like, yeah, man, get people on YouTube Premium. Like I'm hearing that they're considering doing like one free membership a month or whatever, to YouTube Premium. So that would be pretty significant. For that to happen. I'm losing contact with my friend for at least a week. Monhunt is life. Having to complete the campaign to play with friends? Huh. You also thought Ratchet and Clank was better than Psychonauts, so I forgive you. Hey, at least Ratchet and Clank won. Did they win any game awards? Psychonauts got nothing as well, I think. I think they both got nothing. I think they cannibalize each other. That's what I think. I think in the Game Awards, I think Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I think they cannibalized each other. I think if just one of them would have gotten a bunch of the noms, that it would have done better. But I think they were always up there together, and I think it hurt them. Because I don't think that they were necessarily similar, but I think they were in the same category. And I think being in the same category, I think it made it hard for one to break out and win. To me, it was weird. It was weird to have one of the very few truly next-gen games that launched last year not get anything. It was like, what the frick? I don't get how those two games are compared at all. They're long-standing games, and their sequels were highly praised. Like, you know. So I don't necessarily think they're compared. I think they're just viewed as a long-standing, beloved, nostalgic franchise getting a continuation. So that's how I view it, and that I think them being in the same categories in most of the noms, I think it hurt them. I don't have time for the games I know I won't want to play. I don't have time for the games I know I want to play. Right. Monster. Golly, I can't type. Monster Hunter Rise. Gameplay on PC. Yeah, 14 hours ago. Yeah, IGN put up 10 minutes of gameplay. Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. Turn that off. Set that to 1080. Yeah, they've got, light attack, strong attack, evade, launch monster. I don't even know what in the frick she's doing. It's just I'm telling you, it's just the lack of health bars. Like, look, she's fighting this big old bat. She's fighting this huge bat. It looks so cool. But, like, I don't know. There was something about it. I just couldn't get into it. It's like I felt like I was just hacking away at some unknown amount of health, and I remember having similar frustrations with my experience in what's it called? In Dauntless. It was like, go get this beak or whatever, and once you get that, then get this, and then get that, and get this to pop off and all that. So that way you could make, weapons and armor and stuff. And I couldn't get the pieces to come off. I was like, what the frick? Like, hit the bird in the face and get the beak to come off. I was like, it's not working. I just bought XCOM for the Switch with all the DLC for $12.50. Huh. Is that the purchase and never play it price? People who don't play Monster Hunter are missing out? I've played it. I don't think I'm missing out on something I don't enjoy. It's not that I didn't try it. I think we played it 2 different days. And I was just like, I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It just wasn't possible. A bit different from XCOM 1 though. I find I get the appeal of the XCOM games, but those are also games I just can't enjoy. Like that Mario Rabbids game, I honestly thought that was going to be so fun, and I was just, I was bored out of my mind. I was just absolutely bored out of my mind. Just did not enjoy it. Is this? Port not spam. I got an email about that Golem game. Where did it go? There it is. Pre-roll video at the beginning of your video. A video dedicated to our game. They're trying to get people to play the Golem game. They'll give you like a pre-release copy. That was always my issue with getting keys from games. It's like if I can't play it early, then it doesn't do me any good. Because if I can play it early, I can record it and have it uploaded and ready to go and, you know, ready to rock and roll. I can't do that if you give me like a normal version. Like the last couple times I got codes from those sites. It was like they would give me a key and I could like play launch date, and I was like, that doesn't do me any good. I was like, if I can record it ahead of time, I'll abide by your embargo. You know what I'm saying? I'll abide by your embargo. I'm not gonna do it early. Hyper Brawl. Hyper Brawl Tournament. Oh, the name of the game is Hyper Brawl Tournament. Decline. Sorry, I'm stacked right now. Recycle the key. Tandem. A Tale of Shadows. Clever Puzzles. Yeah, no. And then Hunt Showdown wants to give me a key or whatever. Is Hunt Showdown doing some kind of an update or something? Hunt Together, Die Alone. Release date August of 2019. They must be doing some kind of an update in Hunt Showdown. They want people to check it out. I trust Wheeze because the last game he recommended to me was Yakuza, and that was fun. I'm willing to give Monhunt a try. Oh, Monhunt is an amazing game. Don't ever let my lack of playing Monhunt dissuade you, right? Don't ever let it dissuade you. No. Because it's a great, great game. It really is. They get a lot of things right. They get a lot of things right in Monhunt. Customization, world design, character design, enemy design, the depth and diversity in your builds and the weapons and stuff. They get a lot right in those games in Monhunt. Big time. Big time. And I think that if I wanted to, like, I would have done a lot with that game way back in the day if I wanted to. I don't know. I just could not get into it. And I remember people telling me, they're like, You just have to get farther. You just have to get farther. It gets good after, the 8th or the 10th hour or some frickin' thing. So I went and watched like a really experienced player play that night. And they were like really far. And they had really cool weapons. And I was like, this literally looks just as boring. It looks just as boring. It looked like it was the exact same thing, It looked like the same sort of long, kind of grindy fights. This guy tweeted at Taco Bell and he said, "Thank you, Taco Bell." They said, "You're welcome. What did you get?" And he was like, "Diarrhea." Let's check out this poll. We got way off the subject on this one. Halo Infinite. What would you address first? Big Team Battle wins at 39%. Cheating. So the Halo Infinite update with the Big Team Battle hotfix is apparently the number one thing people want to see addressed. And then cheating at 36. Forge and co-op taking up pretty much the minority there. Not surprising, given that the cheating and the issues with Big Team Battle are far more on the front line. Fans are responding to the fact that Batman will be rated PG-13. Last time we got a dark and violent PG-13 Batman movie with Penguin and Catwoman, the nationwide controversy and backlash changed mainstream blockbusters forever. It's official. Batman has been rated PG-13 despite rumors that this could have been an R-rated movie on Bruce Wayne's early vigilante career. I think it's the right call. Like, if they would have rated it R, what would they have done? Had a bloody scene maybe and some harsh swearing? You make it PG-13 and it'll hit a significantly broader audience. A significantly broader audience. I mean, I know people are probably like frustrated or disappointed or whatever, but it doesn't need to be rated R. Like Deadpool was rated R. Hot debate here. You are the red X and you just walked into a room. Is the green X at the front of the room or the back of the room? Oh gosh, let's debate this. We might even switch the poll. This stuff always came up in raids. Okay. Hot debate here. You are the red X and you just walked into the room. Is the green X at the front of the room or the back of the room? Green X is at the front. You're at the back of the room. Right? That's how I would view it. Where's the green X? Oh, it's over there on the front of it's over there on the front of the room. People are saying back, front, back, front. Back of the room, squad. See, I'm thinking of this as like a theater. Yeah, do works exactly. Like a theater. Oh, the teacher, professor's at the front of the room. I'm at the back of the room. Now, obviously, if I entered the room, because sometimes there are doors down near the front where the professor is teaching. Green's not in the room, in my opinion. I'll give you one better. Green's not in the room. It's all a part of the simulation. Green's at the back, red is at the front. Door would indicate front. So, Kat, you're saying green is at the back. I'll do you one better. Why is green? When you look at a car from the front, you're looking at the grille or the trunk. That has nothing to do with this. It depends on the room and how the users are oriented. Where's the circle? No, where's true middle? Where's true middle? Come on, chat. I'm going to let you guys debate this for a second. I'll be right back. These are so dumb. Exercise in stupidity. Yeah, I think the problem with this is that it 100% depends on the room. Because I think the door being in the center though definitely leans toward it being the back. Because the front of a room is generally not going to have a door smack dab in the middle. That's weird. Like a theater, you're going to have doors down near the stage or the front, and they're going to be off to the side, not in the middle. So the fact that the door is in the middle, I do think lends itself to being like, well, that's the back of the room. Because most rooms that have a door in the middle, you're entering at the back. If it's a theater, I call it the front. If it's a house, I call it the back. Yeah, because you would call it the front door you'd enter the living room. You're like, oh yeah, go to the front door, and you'd be like, that's the back of the room. Yeah, like our family room, we would have said that. We would have walked in the center like this, and the X would have been at the back. But in like a theater or like a church, you would say, oh, that's the back door and the back entrance, and that's the front. The X is the front. Yeah. It depends on the room. That's why the debate's kind of silly. The debate's kind of silly for that reason. Yeah, go into the basement. It's in a box in the back. Yeah. What if it's a classroom and the chalkboard is on the wall to the right of the entrance? It's neither. Yeah, but I think generally speaking, yeah, the chalkboard or the dry erase board determines the front. And generally those doors are not in the middle, they're to the sides. They're not smack dab in the middle. That's why the door being in the middle is creating the debate, because you look at the room and you presume things about it. I wonder how much interaction the tweet's getting. I can't be the only person on the internet that thinks it's the front. It's actually not getting a ton of interaction. Somebody just screenshot it and put it in the Discord, so I was like, all right, let's talk about it. For some people have only doors for an exit if you don't. All right. Exits are in the back of the room, entries in the front. Yeah, but that doesn't work because a lot of the times it's the same. The entrance and the exit is the same. So you wouldn't be able to apply that like consistently. You'd have to say in some rooms that's true, but not all. Given enough time, Batman would make the green X the front. Lono, if you were in a raid right now and the green is the boss and you need to dunk a ball on that side, are you calling that the back of the room or the front? The front. He's in the front of the room. Like the war priest was at the front. You entered in the back and he was at the front. You wouldn't be like, oh, go up there to the back and get him. You'd be like, go up there to the front of the room and get him. He's basically up on a stage. Same thing with Oryx. You wouldn't be like, yeah, go all the way down there to Oryx. Yeah, he's all the way at the back. You'd be like, no, he's down there at the front. It's the front of the room. It's where the focus is. It's the main event. It's the main stage. Anyone calling it the back is literally evil and I'm blocking them. That's what she said. Yeah, there you go. He's in front of you. You enter a warehouse and you need to go to the other side to get something. I think most would say, I need to get something from the back. Yeah. It's room dependent. It's room dependent. If you go into a warehouse or like your basement or your attic and you enter and it's all the way on the other side, you would say, yeah, it's all the way over there at the back. Yo, Camp Booyah renewing their membership. Thanks so much for doing that. Yeah, an attic or a warehouse or like a storage facility, you would open the door and say, it's all the way on the other side, all the way over there in the back. But when you walk into a room and there's a boss on the other side, up on some stage or something, you'd be like, oh, there he is. He's over there at the front of the room. Yeah, if you enter into the back of a classroom or a theater, you would say, yeah, down there, over on the other side, that's the front. So if I were in the front of the room, would you be at my back? Think about what the teacher says. You in the back. Yeah, you. Not, oh yeah, you down here in the front. Even the way you refer to it, front row, back row, exactly. You would say down here on the front row, back there on the back row. You know, growing up, if you sat in the back of the church, they called you a back row Baptist. You wanted to be able to leave early to catch the football game. But again, it's room dependent, because if I sent you down into my basement and I told you that are the Mrs. and the Santa Claus and the Mrs. Claus, where are they? Over there, at the back. But it's a different room. So the front, most places of the theater would be the back stage. Yeah, go backstage. Go down to the front. Why? I need you to go backstage. So I'm going down front to go backstage. Yeah, that's right. What's so confusing about this? I figured it out. Hilly. All these things is proof is that people are stupid and don't understand that context matters. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. NFTs, not NKT. New Kirby trailer. The new Kirby trailer. Yeah, it's big news that the Batman movie's PG-13. Big news. Nerf is offering a replica of Boba Fett's iconic blaster. It's up for pre-order now. Nice. Nice. Isn't Eugene always annoyed, though? Church, when they said, peace be with you, it's my sign to get ready to run. Yeah. Haven't really watched the last couple of weeks. It's kind of your fault. I got addicted to Lost upon your many recommendations. Look, man, you can make time for me and Lost. Come on, brother. I'm over here trying to pay the bills. You know? You can't be doing that. How dare you do that? How dare you? How dare you have your own life? How dare you? Lego has suspended their Overwatch 2 line. Yeah, because Overwatch 2 is not going to launch. Yeah, that's because Overwatch 2 is not going to launch. That's why. Man, this is this is an odd day. It hasn't felt like it, but I just looked at our view count. We haven't been this low in a super long time, especially on a Halo subject. It's weird. We had a fine start to the day too. We were and chat's been moving. I didn't even notice. I just suddenly looked. I was like, "What the frick?" I don't know. It's bizarre. You think the new Star? Oh, I like it. I like the show quite a bit. There was Wednesday? So there was a new episode, wasn't there? Yeah. My wife and I will watch it tonight. What's the live stream schedule on Presents? We don't have a schedule yet. So we experimented yesterday with doing a premiere that rolled into a live show, and it did really well. So we're looking at doing that. That'd be once a week. So haven't mentioned Halo since I've been here. Well, we've been live for 2 hours, two and a half hours. So the first hour we talked Halo the whole time. So I don't know. Yeah, we jumped off to like a Sony discussion pretty quickly, and that might have drove off the Halo fans. I don't know. Usually around now we're at like 250 peeps, but maybe we talked too much about Spider-Man and PlayStation 4 and 5. I don't know. I don't care. Chat's been moving. I didn't even notice. I was like, usually if the views go down, chat goes down, and chat's been humming, so I didn't even notice it. I just was bouncing around and looking in tabs, and suddenly I saw it. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. We'll do a live stream over on Presents probably about once a week. We're still debating on some changes and things we wanted to do over there, and we held off because we thought YouTube was going to be doing really big updates in January. It doesn't look like they're doing really anything. I mean, I got an email today from my partner manager. They're adding the join button to the mobile app, the iOS mobile app next month. Like, oh, wow. Like, be still my beating heart. Like, that's that's nothing. This looks like fun. The Legend of Vox Machina is a TV show. Oh. Halo isn't getting a lot of viewership. Next video. Is Halo a dead game already? I thought after the break people would be really anxious. We might be late to it. That's possible too, because they posted the update a couple of days ago, and so more than likely, yesterday and Tuesday maybe folks covered it. Maybe we should have jumped on it sooner. We kind of experimented. We covered. We wanted to cover some more broader topics. So Take-Two buying Zynga, we thought that was really important. The From Software Elite game actually was a great stream. We had a lot of fun with that, and a lot of people showed up, so that was really enjoyable. We also looped back to Lost Ark and New World this week, so it's been a totally fine week, but it made more sense to me to touch on Lost Ark and New World on Monday, and then yesterday was a bit of an experiment, so Halo just got kicked a few days late, which is probably why. It's probably why. We're just a little late on the news is all. I just got in the Wheel of Time, not that bad. Wheel of Time gets better. The first episode's kind of, and then it definitely crescendos. It gets better each week. I was, as somebody who read the books, I was thrilled with the Wheel of Time. I thought they did an excellent job. I had no complaints. It would have been very easy to have complaints, right? It would have been extremely easy to have complaints. Are you going to get early access to Elden Ring? I don't have any contacts at the company, unfortunately. I don't have any contacts at From Software. So it would be amazing to get early access to it. I'll get early access to Lost Ark because I'm a founder, and if they do anything earlier than that, I could also get early access because I can reach out to the guy that's in charge of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Definitely interesting that Xbox did not have any statement about how many times Halo Infinite sold. I think not even Game Pass subscriptions increased that much as they had hoped. They're not trying to get sales, homie. You don't have. Why would they be interested in sales of Halo Infinite? Halo Infinite multiplayer literally costs $0, and the campaign is available on Game Pass. Like, bragging about Halo Infinite campaign sales wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense. They haven't said anything about numbers, but they love parading Forza numbers. Speaks volumes, in my opinion. Now, that's another way of looking at it. Yeah, they haven't said anything about player numbers. Sales wouldn't make any sense for them to talk about, because there was almost no revenue or avenue stream to spend money on it. I'm followed by some really big Twitter accounts. Tree follows me. Tree Trunk? I didn't realize they followed me. Smell and taste buds are finally starting to ramp up again. And I don't know how to feel. It made things more simple. I don't know about that. I've not experienced it, so I couldn't comment. But yeah, I don't think I would enjoy it. Download, copy. Today's video over on Presents is about E3 going digital only, or maybe not. E3 2022. So I'll be sending you guys over there in just a teeny bit. I'm just getting my tweet ready. And then we'll get an announcement. If you guys have been faithfully going over and watching these 3 p.m. Eastern premieres, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. That channel is doing very, very well. We are very pleased with how that channel is performing. We were nervous about the shift and everything, but you guys have really been awesome, and we're pleased with the results. We're just gonna keep on going. I never miss the taste of pickles so much. Oh, yeah. I miss having. I had to cut a lot of salt from my diet because of my issues with blood pressure, and pickles, unfortunately, are just extremely high in sodium. So we've had to. I don't get to eat a lot of the things I enjoyed, but you got to take care of yourself, you know. Gotta take care of yourself. I wish I could see when that was. Oh, that's about 2 hours in. Okay. I think the odds are pretty good that Microsoft knew the dev cycle for Halo was effed. Of course, they're not bragging about it. Yeah. Halo Grand on PC went from an average of 102,000 players in November down to 38,000 the last 30 days. That doesn't sound right. That sounds wrong. I feel like you're looking at player peaks. That's not player averages. Yeah, aren't those peaks and not averages? I don't know if those are. Yeah, like in December they were hitting peaks of like 80,000 and now they're hitting peaks of like 40,000. Steam charts player averages. Oh, I see it. Down below. Yeah, average players 102,000 in November, 51,000 in December, and 38,000 in. Now, hang on a minute, though. How long was it out in November? When did it launch? The 19th? Yeah, it's slightly unfair to count 11 days. And those 11 days are literally basically the launch week, and compare that to now. I think it's better to look at like, well, December they averaged 51, and now 12 days into January they're averaging about 10,000 less than that. So, November the 8th, well, the Steam chart only starts tracking as far back. It won't go back that far. I can only go back to the... Oh, no, hang on. I can go back to the 16th. So half of a month. Yeah. That's hard because literally, if you look at when it launched, the first 10 days was great, and then it immediately dropped. And then it bounced back a little bit December the 8th, probably because of the... Was that when the event started? I don't know. It's probably better to compare December to January, and instead of 2 weeks in November, and those are literally like the launch weeks. That's just, I don't know. That's a rough comparison. Because it's just such an overwhelming amount of people logging in that first week that really make the numbers look impressive. Because we've done that a lot lately, right? We look at like the launch week or the launch month of a game, and we're like, oh my gosh, the game's falling off. And it's like, don't all games go through this for the most part? You know what I mean? Oh, December the 8th is when the campaign came. Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to sit here and dispute that they are losing lots of players. I'm certainly not going to dispute that. They have not done a very good job with the battle pass or anything else. I mean, if anything, this is the perfect... this is the perfect example of why their structure of like stretching the battle pass too thin is having an inverse effect. You're not getting more engagement, you're getting less engagement. So, all right. If you guys are here and you like supporting me, do me a big favor. We have a larger channel than this with about 47,000 subs, and we've been covering the bans over on the Twitch platform. We've been covering things going on in the YouTube or Facebook gaming industry, and today I have a video about E3. I don't know if E3 is even going to be happening. Apparently, it's going digital only. I make some predictions about what I think Jeff Keighley's going to do, so you're going to want to check out this video. So do me a favor. Smash the like button on this video. Make sure you're subscribed here on SNTR Gaming, and then click that link in the chat. Give that link a click and go hang out over there. It is, I think it's a pretty good video. I think you guys know me. I like to make predictions, and this prediction is about some things that I think will be looking a little bit differently this summer in the absence of E3 and with other potential things happening for some of the other gaming conferences. So thanks for a great day. I'll see you over there for the premiere, and then I'll see you back here tomorrow.